Are you nervous about handling firearms? Well, odds are you're definitely not alone. In this video, we are going to explore practical ways to help you overcome any fears that you may have about guns, and also empower you with the knowledge and the confidence to handle them safely. Now, the first reason you may feel intimidated is simply just due to a lack of training and knowledge of the basics. When it comes to firearms, safety is paramount. Always remember the 4 universal safety rules, and for the sake of time, I'll briefly explain what each of those are. Number 1, treat all firearms as if they're loaded. Of course, you always want to know the status of your weapon, and that is done by only one way. Number 2, don't point this sucker at anything you don't intend to destroy. It's pretty straightforward. Just be cautious of your surroundings. And 3, keep your finger off the trigger until you are ready to shoot. Don't go pointing this sucker around squeezing on the trigger like it's some toy. That builds bad habits. Don't even rest your finger on the trigger. The only time your finger goes on the trigger is when you are ready to shoot. And number 4, know your target and what's beyond it. Again, pretty straightforward. Look at what you're about to shoot and know what's around it and beyond it, because at the end of the day, you are accountable for every round that leaves the end of that barrel. I've been around guns and shooting them long enough to know that as long as you're practicing good common sense, you'll be just fine. However, they can end your life or someone else's life very quickly, so it's good to maintain a well-balanced, respectful approach to them. And by the way, if this is our first time meeting, hi, I'm Parker, and welcome to Range Rulerz. Here I help activate first-time gun owners to begin training with their firearms, grow their skills, and rule the range. And if you're just getting started with your training, head on over to rangerulers.com to download your free range day checklist. I'll have that link pinned down in the comments below. Alright, so now that we've covered safety, the rest is going to deal a lot with building competence. If you've been around the channel for a while, you've definitely heard me say it more than once. The more you train to build competence, confidence will come. Now, this could be a reason that a lot of us fear guns. We've simply not practiced with them or just been around them in general long enough to have that level of confidence. And that's absolutely nothing to be ashamed about. And if you're just getting started, awesome. Keep practicing, keep watching these videos, keep growing your skills, and eventually you'll rule the range. Now, the next reason you may be fearful of firearms is maybe because you've experienced some sort of traumatic event in your past. Maybe you're easily frightened by explosions or the thought of recoil. I know a couple fears of mine are being around people who are airing up balloons or tires. It's the possibility of a sudden pop that always seems to get to me. Now again, there's no shame with this because we all experience our own levels of trauma. But the good news is that there is help available. So if this is you, maybe consider reaching out to a trauma therapist who can help you heal from the things of your past. Now, the last thing we're going to discuss is a bit more broad, and it fits into the category of misinformation, whether that be how you grew up and perceived firearms and what people told you about them, or maybe it's even what you hear and see through the mainstream news. As I said earlier, yes, firearms are a lot of fun, and yes, they can cause severe damage. But it's important to weigh through with discernment and understand that firearms are not inherently evil. You hear it all the time. Guns unalive people. No, they do not. People unalive people, because people are evil. Now, that's an important distinction that you will have to make before you can allow those barriers to be broken down. So guys, those are just a few reasons why you may be nervous around firearms and how you can be more confident with them. Again, make sure to get your free range day checklist at rangerulers.com, and to ensure you're learning and growing your firearm skills, here are 3 mistakes that you'll definitely want to avoid.